tell us any stories about Pee Wee that you recall in your encounters with Pee Wee?
Yeah, well, my first encounter with him, period, before I actually really met him. We were playing this festival, 3-day festival at the Lighthouse at Hermosa Beach.
Sure.
It had to be 1978, 79. My mother actually made a collage of that period, and I don't know what, somebody might have taken it. Maybe I have it somewhere in the house. Anyway, so, you know, we did a sound check. We're going to be playing first there with Rod, with backing up Smokey Wilson. So we do our little sound check, and the guy goes, "There's food across the street." Well, when I come back, my amp had been moved back against that brick wall, and there was a half-stack Marshall right where my amp was, and I go, "What the heck?" So I just pushed this big old thing we got back in. All of a sudden, this little short guy blows past me and comes up, and I go, "Rod!" And I hear Rod go, "What do you want, Pee Wee?" And I go, "Pee Wee?" And I look over and it's Pee Wee Creighton, and I went, "Oh my God." He goes, "Your guitar player moved my amp out of the way." And I goes, "Hey man, you're not playing till way later, man. Let's just let the man play this show. How are you gonna play the show with your big ass amp in the way?" So that was that. So he sat down in front of me and he was drinking, smoking, and chewing gum
at the same time.
Basically at the same time, like this. When he's looking up at it, and everything's going good, and finally Rod goes and starts walking over by the bar. It's real dark in there, so I don't see what's going on. Well, he just laterals the harmonica mic and he hands it to. Then all of a sudden I see that it's George Smith, and he comes back to the bandstand, and when he gets to the stage he just stops the band and goes do da 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 da, boom, and we come in with all this stuff, and it got so good to Pee Wee that he comes up on the stage. So I'm standing right there and I go, "Uh-oh, what's happening?" So he grabs his guitar off that stack, and he hits this G chord, G7, and I went, "Oh my God." So I just reached back and turned his amp down to our level. Well, once again, as soon as the set was over, he goes right past me. He doesn't say a word to me. He goes, "Rod, this guitar player turned my..." He goes, "Hey, Pee Wee, how are we supposed to do our show, man, when you got to come up there like that?" He goes, "You gotta do your stuff with it." "Yeah, okay, man." And we became friends. Years later. That's how it started.
Long Overdue was your first solo release, and then you were back-to-back with Linwood was an outstanding album as well, and then If I Had a Genie. But I remember thinking, because I'd just been lectured by James Harmon, and I asked about his CDs, and he goes, "Well, I got about 30 of them, don't you have?" I'm trying to find some, and I got a similar response from Watts, and it turns out that he's on so many different recordings that you just have to seek them out and find them, and there's lots to be found, like Back to Back, and
no, that's a 50-50 record. That's why I consider it partially mine. Else I wouldn't mention it. No, I'm on 200 something records, CDs.
Any favorites?
Shit, I'm just happy to be in there with anybody, to tell you the truth. Because all of it you learn from. So it's a stepping stone process. One highlight to me was playing with Little Willie Littlefield, recording on this record with this guy Barbecue Barnes, and he was a crazy type guy. He was like, "Hey!" and he grabbed me by the back of the head and kissed me on the lips in front of thousands of people at the Amsterdam.
Thank you.
And I just went, "Oh my God!" But you know what? That's just the way he was. He was excited. He was excited that I had an arch top guitar. He goes, "I haven't seen one of those since the 40s." And I go, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he just loved the way it was done, because it reminded him, of when he first started playing the music. That's the way everybody played back then.
Was that the Black Espana, or what was it?
No, that was actually a blonde Epiphone Zephyr Deluxe Regent. But I had the Esplanade, but it was in the shop at that time. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you were known to a lot of people because of that. Well, I don't know how to say that correctly, but they identified the Black Esplanade and you together a lot, I guess, during the Flyers days.
$50 guitar, yeah, I paid $50 for it.
That's right. If I recall correctly, and if I may take liberties, you told me that you were in a shop somewhere in